December 13, 2015. With my dad's 27 diaries and his belongings, I came out and stood at the doorsteps of Ajja's house. It had took me more than 2 months of grief to come out of his death. Sahitya's parents had come from Kolkata and they were always concerned about my long walk. After all this, do you still want to go? They always used to ask. Long walk is no more my plan, but it's a decision, was my answer. I think the long walk had possessed me already. They wanted to take Sahitya along to Kolkata, for which I agreed but convinced them to let us stay together, at least until I start my journey. Rajiva was also injured in that accident. After Sahitya's parents left for Kolkata, I spoke with Rajiva for a good time and handed some money to him. I and Sahitya boarded a bus from Madikeri on the same day and reached Bangalore by that night. It seems that Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu were badly hit by floods between November 8th and December 14, killing almost over 500 people. I had fallen asleep on the couch watching the news archives about it. Sometime in the midnight, I woke up at a blink and found windows were shuttering for heavy lash of rain. I went ahead and shut it close and went to grab on a bottle of water from the fridge. I found that the kitchen light was on. Sahitya may have forgotten to switch it off and I went in to switch it off. I see Sahitya there. She was sitting numb and silent on the floor. It was 2 a.m. then. I was shocked to see her there and didn't know what to do. Then I walked close and sat next to her. Hey, what happened, Sahitya? What are you doing here? I asked. Ajja wanted to say something to you. He asked for a promise. What would that be? Before he could say it out, Sahitya stuttered. She leaned on my shoulder and said, I am not able to forget what happened. I am thinking about Ajja every day, even if I try not to. And I don't know why. I feel afraid even of this rain. Do you remember when we were in school? I think it was in our 10th grade. We had eloped from our school to watch a movie. It was the first time in our life, in the darkness of cinema hall, we kissed each other. After that, it became common. We just found out reason to bunk classes and roam around. When Ajja found about it, he could have shouted at us or stopped us from seeing each other. But he talked about our mistakes politely over a meal he served for us. Now that is being a gentleman. He made us listen to our brains more than our hearts until we finished our 12th grade. If you don't stop a few cravings right now, they will turn out to be the chains that will stop you from growing. Your cravings are not wrong, but now is not the time to feed them. Let the time come. I will tell you to go ahead. Do you remember him saying this? That was Ajja. Do you also remember that we never let him down? Although it was becoming difficult for me, you never broke his promise. Sahitya, calm down. Were you thinking about all this at this time? No. You had once controlled your physical needs just because he asked you to. But for the long walk, Sahitya. I know that all of this boils down to my stubbornness for the long walk, isn't it? I don't have an answer for it. My heart isn't allowing me to cancel it. There is some unstoppable force that is stopping me to cancel it, I said. She looked at me silently and said, hug me once, please. The warmth of her arms, my pounding heartbeat, tears in our eyes, heavy breath. We spent all the night with them. I have almost zero experience of hiking. My only solo trip was to Ramnagara Hills. After that, wherever I went, Sahitya was my company. We always went out on day trips once a month. In that sense, Bangalore to Ladakh was my first solo trip. So for the luggage, bag, money belt, tent equipment, jacket, multi-purpose shoes, headlamp, torch, first aid kit, compass, paper maps, documents, a printed copy of my dad's 27 diaries, papers, pen, water bottle, contact info card. All of them were just ready to sneak into my backpack. I didn't want any extra luggage. It was only the essentials plus 2 pairs of clothing. All the other clothings I will buy on my journey based on the weather conditions there. So 20 to 30 miles per day was my initial walking target. But it all depends on weather again, location and my stamina. So everything may vary. And yeah, for every 100 miles that I cross, I wanted to post everything that I have written to Sahitya's address. I decided this just before starting the journey and it will be a great surprise for her. 25th December 2015, just 5 days before my journey, I invited my close ones for a small party on the Christmas Eve. Sahitya wore my favorite cream gown and like always, she looked beautiful. The happiness of counting down just 5 days of my 365-day long journey is at one side and the pain of going away from my love is on the other side. Tough one. I spilled the beans of my journey to my friends, colleagues and family friends who had gathered there. And I threatened them that the party would become a war zone if anyone talks negative about it. Everyone gave me a big cheer, and by the time we finished dancing, drinking and dining, it was already 2:30 a.m. It's not even 3 months from your Ajja's death. Was the party necessary? Were a few questions I faced. Look, I have the pain of losing Ajja. I do. But blocking all the other emotions for it does not help me. More than a party, it was just to announce my long walk to the world. And that's it. At the first light of January 1st, 2016, I was ready with my backpack in front of my Jainagar residence. The time had come for my first step for a 3,200 kilometer Ladakh trip. Sahitya clicked the first picture and she hugged me. She somehow managed to bite the pain between her lips and smile for me though. I had asked people to not contact me until I returned. So all of them had gathered at my place to wave me a goodbye and they later returned to their own house. One step after the other, through South End, Lal Bagh, Basavanagudi, KR Market, Freedom Park, Chitrakala Parishad, to finally reach Hebbal police station at around 10:45 am. It was a pleasant weather so far and I realized one thing, just one thing in these 4 hours. Bangalore has changed a lot. People have lost patience and they run from pole to post. Although these were the roads that I travel on a regular basis, I have never observed my city all these days. Just like a small kid enjoying looking around at every object around it, I was enjoying my journey. I saw everything and enjoyed everything that I saw. I felt Bangalore doesn't vibrate on one string. Every area in city has its own rhythm. After breakfast at Udupi Banshankari Hotel near Hebbal police station, started walking at around 11:30 am, passing through Allasandra, Puttenahalli towards Balapura, Nagenahalli Bharat Family Restaurant for my lunch, and I reached Dodbalapura by 7:45 pm. I stayed at Hotel Paradise for that night and called it a day. Everything went as per plan. I skipped my dinner to quickly get fresh and dive onto my bed, just to wake up only at 8:30 am the next day. I stepped out of my bed and my legs were already in pain. Oh, It was funny to see myself tired in Dodbalapura while my Ladakh felt light years away. After a nice warm water bath, I sat with the road map while having my breakfast. They played an episode on my TV about people who were worst hit by the recent floods of Andhra Pradesh. My next destination was a national college in Gauribidnur to meet Professor Narasimhamurthy, one of my dad's childhood friends. My dad's diary talked a lot about this man. Obviously, the good things about him. I learned that he was the inspiration for my dad to start writing. When I was just 4 years old, he had also predicted that I had a great taste for music and dance. Oh, by the way, sorry. I forgot to mention one thing. I had finished reading all the 27 diaries in the 2 months that we stayed in Madikeri. This changed my route plan for long walk immensely. A lot of places got added after reading it. I have a lot to say about it, and we will talk as we walk. Then my journey started at 10:30 a.m. for an 11-hour long walk to reach Professor Narasimhamurthy's residence by 9:45 p.m. I had called him the same morning to inform about my plan and my visit to his place. When I reached his home, I saw him waiting for me outside on the chair, reading the Taranga magazine. There was some vibe I caught as I saw him. I don't know why. His shiny white hair under the yellow light of the street, thick glasses, long nose, dark skin. Yes, the same stature I saw in my dad's album. While I was noticing at him from the gate, he saw me, recognized me at one sight, and walked up to welcome me home. We hadn't met for more than a decade now, but he didn't fail to recognize me. It's a strange feeling. Maybe the hearts connect faster than the brain can. It was almost 40 hours since I started walking, and as planned, I crossed over 50 miles in 2 days. My conversation with Professor Narasimhamurthy brought out very interesting stories, which included my dad's high school love story. Dad was jailed for 2 days for doing something heinous in his school love story. He did not mention about all this in his diary, and I can't imagine him committing such a thing.